This is where dealers who want to win in the long run can take huge advantage.
Dave Spannhake, founder, co-founder of Reunion Marketing, CEO, chief boss man with all the answers. I think that you and I and Reunion and I and Congruent, we believe in the same things about dealers, and we are unabashed dealer advocates. So just thanks for kind of coming alongside us to put this on today.
Yeah, and absolutely. And really our companies are about the same age too.
For sure.
We've been experiencing a similar journey, learned a lot from you along the way too.
Likewise.
How we became close friends. And
likewise. So, I mean, like good people should know each other. They should work together. Even when the lanes intersect a little bit, I think that's even better, right? Because it just shows that we're all trying to accomplish the same goal, and it's never so black and white that one person can save the world, right? It takes a lot of people. Let me talk about this. So you come from the dealership world.
Yeah, yep.
And which is one of the things I love about Reunion Marketing is that it's not a bunch of ringers that came in from other agencies. Like you were in the group of you co-founders, right? You were in the dealership world. Can you give me like the 2-minute version of like where it came from and because I think it's relevant.
Yeah, and it's an exciting story. I love talking about it.
Yeah,
as you know. I mean,
it's yours.
It's called Reunion because we left a 33 store group, and I was the marketing director of the group, and there's a 25-person team, and it was like an agency but owned by the dealership, and then 3 other folks that were co-owners were managing 12 or 13 of the different dealerships' budgets and in the stores and working on the next plans and getting the right people and understanding that in today's environment you can get a message to the people that want that message. They say, here's what I want, and you give it to them. And you can look at all the data to match that, and it's why SEO is so big for us, and PPC and social media and just targeting in general and creating that environment. So we left and we reunited to start Reunion and started it, as out of Dane's house and Chad's apartment.
It's the best story ever.
And no clients, just we know that we're smart and we know that our stuff works. And now, we're looking at close to 300 stores and growing and doing some cool stuff. And it's an American dream.
And an awesome lease in the old Dr. Pepper building.
That's right. Yeah. Well, that's not part of the American dream.
You're like that was like 8 months ago, right? We were like, we've made it, and then they were like, you can't go there anymore.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I just want dealers to walk away with a little piece of value from a marketing perspective, in the way you have been able to deliver for your dealers. What are you seeing your dealers do that is really working well? What are you advising dealers to do that you see is working?
I think the biggest thing to remember is, marketing, going back to like college, right? Marketing 101. People have wants, and then companies have the deliverables to satisfy those wants.
Yep.
And so keeping track of consumer behavior and how that's changing. Challenges that a lot of companies have are, how are you adapting to the experience throughout your messaging on your website, all these things? Are you giving the digital retailing experience? Are you satisfying the expectations? Are you calming down the fears that are happening with COVID? Is that ringing throughout the website and all the different marketing channels? And then, knowing that, when we have these kind of, this is different than the Great Recession, but there's lessons learned there where new car sales dipped, inventory's down. What are consumers doing? They're buying a lot more used. We've had 2 all-time high for the history of automotive used car sales years. A lot of dealers aren't focused on used car marketing. So what are you doing to create an environment that you're pushing that out as part of the messaging? And then fixed ops. It's the backbone and the saving grace of a lot of, when you see grosses go down, and that, we talked about that plenty during the Automotive State of the Union today.
Yeah.
Fixed ops marketing is so often left behind. And, as a community, a dealership community, we own 33% of the market. And that's not how it used to be. We've given up so much of that market share. And it's 49% of the gross profit for a dealership, I think is what the NIDA numbers were last year, 47, 49, somewhere in that range, about half of the gross margins. And, most dealers are ignoring that. So, things that we've really been working on with our dealers and getting a lot of feedback from them, and then, sharing our insights and data is, create those, give people what they want and what they need. People want cars more than ever, I think, right now. Because,
absolutely.
People are afraid of mass transit. People are afraid of all this stuff.
The individually owned automobile is more relevant today than it has been in the last 10 years.
And like it's a surprise comeback because of what's happened. But even though inventory is down and production is down on the new car, that's why used cars have hit all-time highs.
Yep.
And people are just not. They're not looking at the data. They're not looking at these consumer behavior trends to put their marketing and messaging and the website content and all these different pieces in pin it up in an environment with that that matches consumer behavior. And then every time you look at data and trends and you create a marketing plan around what people want, then you succeed.
Funny thing happens.
It's marketing 101, you know, and everyone tries to reinvent the wheel and try to push things. I mean, we see a lot of dealers that are trying to push things that don't really make sense. You're out of inventory, so, you know, reallocate those funds to, you know, don't lose your brand awareness.
Yep.
And keep that. That's, you and I have talked about that
absolutely,
plenty of times.
right.
Don't leave
That
brand
that's
awareness.
the current that you need to run, right?
Yeah,
It's not
you
the
know,
waves, it's the current.
But you know, maintain that, because that's so big. A lot of people will just, you know, quit marketing and advertising themselves altogether, and
Right.
they will lose so much brand equity over time.
Right,
And so
someone else
keep
is
that.
starting to grab that market share quick.
Yeah, and this is the time, if you look back at the Great Recession, big lessons learned are that the people that created a higher market share, and they did the things that you know could propel them once we're past this. If you can really focus more now on market share, this
Yeah.
is an investment into the future. Don't
Yep.
be looking at your month to month the same way as you do maybe during the great economic times. Be looking at your month to month now in an investment mindset, where
Yep.
you're thinking, if I can get market share, if I can win this,
Yep.
then you launch yourself
Think,
out. And
yeah,
that's
right.
where-
Think buy low, sell high.
Yeah.
Right now, market share is attainable.
Yes.
Much cheaper
Yeah,
than it ever was when the economy's good.
The competition's not there.
People are backing out. People are scared.
Yeah.
Right now is the time to buy low.
This is investment mindset, and
Yeah.
that's where you saw consolidation happen like never seen before after the Great Recession. You saw big dealer groups go from people who didn't have this mindset,
Yep.
and buy so many stores and then really grow themselves. This is where dealers who want to win in the long run
Yep.
can take a huge advantage of. You know, you don't want to say take advantage of a bad situation, but this is where you win over the next 10, 15 years.
Right. Well,
by
look.
doing the right things now.
Well, it's not taking advantage of the need is there, and if you produce a product or service that has value, people are going to buy it. You're not forcing anybody to buy it. So, is it opportunistic? Yes, it is. But that's what our economy is driven on. Is you see opportunity and you take it, and if you take that opportunity, which I believe you can by serving other people really, really well, right, showing them and giving them what they want
Exactly.
when they want it, right, then that's
that's our industry. Our industry is, a lot of people who are opportunistic and who are in it because that's what fuels them.
Absolutely.
And a lot of, I think, our jobs, seeing a lot of the stuff and having the data we have with hundreds of dealerships is to share those insights and share that information. And that's where, when you do that and then you get, more data and more
scale.
reasoning, then it's like, this is where we can help you. This is where we can take you to that next level.
Absolutely. Well, Dave, thank you for spending a few minutes.
Yeah,
Thank you for supporting this. It's always good to see. It's so good to see you in person. It's been since February.
Still 6 feet apart. But,
6 feet apart for sure, but together in our hearts, right?
Yep.
Whatever we want to say. But thank you so much. And thanks for always being so open-handed with your information, your mindset, your strategy for the dealers.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Great to see you.